Good morning, loves. Good morning, good morning. Hoping that everyone is rolling right into 2022 with a bang. I am still elbows deep in old notebooks and journals and really past. I've been discovering things from 2017, 2018, 2019. It is time to clear that from it and let that shit go. But in my meanderings through my past, I found a couple of things that I really wanted to share with you today. It's the second day of January. It's also a new moon. So we've got a new year and a new moon. Both are really powerful starting places, intention setting. Anyone who's been in the community or done any of the writing circles, writing space with us, knows about the 4-part moon and writing process that we use: new moon, waxing moon, full moon, waning moon. Basically, the dreaming, planning, writing, and revising process. We really look at the moon as a guide, as a reminder. And so this is super like double intention setting, an incredibly great place to start the year from. I'm only partially woo woo, so I'm not super woo, but for years I have been looking at and using the moon as a reminder, as an invitation into the creative process. I got this incredible journal from a friend of mine, a woman in my women's circle years ago, and I'm looking back early in the year, new moon intentions, write a book, hit submit, among other things. Okay. But, and my dog's eating my daughter's bear. No, no. But write a book has been on my list. So if this is your new moon intention, write a book and hit submit. Hit submit is the publishing process. Anyone who's done this knows the huge difference between writing and publishing. They are wildly different processes, but those of you who have it on your heart and on your mind to write and publish this year really want to make sure you're tuning into this. This was my journal in 2019. This was the same intention I started the beginning of a year, a few years back. And I want to tell you this story because in 2019, I had set this intention. It had been my intention for a number of years running: write the book, write the book, write the book. And so it was in 2019 that I wrote my first manuscript, but I didn't publish it. And so I found myself at the beginning of 2020 with a manuscript and this urge to write and publish. But I had poured my life into this little manuscript baby, and I was really nervous about publishing it. I was nervous about learning the publishing process on this baby that I had committed so much to. I don't know how to stop my dog from eating that bear. Stop, Rosie, stop. Sorry. Do you have a dog who eats things that she's not supposed to? So I had this manuscript, but I didn't want to experiment on it. I had pitched it, I had pre-sold it, I had tested various publishing options with it, but I was nervous. And so I set out with a different intention at the very beginning. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th of January. I said to myself, all right, I'm going to write and publish a book. And I'm going to write and publish a book before my daughter turns 5, which is the end of March. So I gave myself 3 full months, but I was not going to publish the manuscript I had because I was nervous about it. So, like you do, I just decided to write another book and publish that book. In my digging through my stuff, I also found my mind map. And if you've heard me talk about mind mapping, this is where we take an idea and spill it all out, just make a big fat mess. This is what a big fat mess looks like. Okay. I was like, what am I going to write about? I don't know. Write about something that I know about. I've been talking to people and coaching women for years on transformation. So obviously that goes in the middle of the mind map. And then all just the random ideas that spilled out poured out of me, and all the ideas that linked to that poured out of that. This paper has been stuffed somewhere and gotten wet, and who cares? But this is the beginning. This piece of paper turned into a 3-month process of writing a manuscript and learning how to publish all by myself. I didn't go with a publisher after researching all the options and even having some publishing options. I chose not to. I can maybe make a video later if anybody wants to know what helped me make that decision. And this mind map turned into this book in 3 months. Okay, so January I decided to publish. I was like, what should I write about? Don't know. Write about what you know. Write about what you want to talk about. Splashed out a manuscript. It's a short book, but it's still a heavy hitter. How Change Really Happens. It was my first published book. I not only wrote the book, but I learned and executed the whole publishing process in 3 months. So it is possible. Okay, if you are sitting here with in your journal, I want to write a book. If you have this listed, I want to write a book, and hit submit, it is possible to go from dream to completed book in 3 months because I've done it. It's also possible to have it take several years, but it's possible. Okay. So I really wanted to share these things before I threw away the old journal and before I threw away the mind map that actually turned into this book. I wanted to share it here with you because it is the beginning of the year. I know so many women are sitting with these stories inside of them. Okay. And Red Thread's on this mission to support 10,000 women to move from I've got a story in my heart and a story in my belly to I wrote and published my book. That's what we're working on. It's possible in 3 months. I did, full disclosure, did pretty much close down all the work I was doing and focus solely on writing and learning how to publish. That I did. I did have to stop doing everything else I was doing except single parenting. But it is possible. Okay. Red Thread exists to make sure that you don't have to do what I did, which is all by myself. I did all the research by myself. I didn't have any community to rely on who knew what about the writing process or the publishing process. Red Thread has that community. Red Thread has that group of experts that can guide you. Maybe you want to publish with us. Maybe you just want to self-publish like I did the first time, but want to run your ideas by some people who have been there and done that. That's what we're about. Okay. We want to get your stories out in the world so that I can't tell you how many times I started a new year with, I want to write a book. And that was where it stopped. Okay. I think this is 2019's journal, but I could probably go back as far as 2006 into my dreams and resolutions back when I used to make them. I want to write and publish a book. It was on the list for so long. But by the time there was a moment that really shifted, it's I'm actually going to do this. Something I asked everyone in our community to do about a month ago was actually set a publishing date. It's the first thing I say to people when they're like, I want to write a book. I say, great, choose your publishing date right now. People are like, no, but I don't have a this and I don't have a that. I said, set a publishing date. Because the thing that made the difference for me, the thing that made this idea into this book was actually having a deadline and then planning backwards. Okay. I wanted this to come out before my daughter turned 5 and she had a fixed birth date. So I chose a day before she turned 5 and I worked backwards. And now it's a goddamn book. Okay. It's been out for a couple of years. People are still buying it. People are still reading it. People are reviewing it. They love it. It taught me so much. It taught me so much. But more importantly, it taught me that I can really pretty much do anything I set my mind to. So if you are sitting at the beginning of the new year, wanting to hold your own story in your hands by the end of this year, now's the time to both set that intention, because intentions are quite powerful. When you set an intention, choose a publishing date. Because intentions without tangible results can just stay intentions. When you move an intention into a reality, you put it in your calendar, then it requires the action to make it real. Okay. So I want to know is to write and publish on your list. I want to know if you have new moon practices that you do, or if you need some from us. And I want to know your publish date. Set your estimated publish date, even if it's at 1 year from today. Okay? I always say anytime between 3 months from today and 1 year from today. That's your window. Choose a day in that window. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. That way we can be cheering you on and supporting you on the way. Happy new moon. Happy new year. And I'll see you again soon. Ciao.